everybody. My name is Iman Berry, and welcome back to Recovering Strong Black Woman, where we talk about everything from law of attraction to manifestation to wellness to ultimately living life on your own damn terms. On today's episode, we're going to talk about something near and dear to my heart that I really have worked hard to embrace and navigate and find pleasure in, especially over the last year, and that is solo dates. All right. So solo dates don't get a whole lot of love, right? I think there is this whole romanticizing about being in relationships and waiting for somebody to do some of these things. But what's beautiful about solo dates is that you basically have the opportunity to give yourself those things, right? Black women have waited long enough to get what we want. If you're in a season of healing, of transformation, maybe of just, wherever you are, especially if you're not currently in a relationship, even if you're in a relationship, it's so important to pause and figure out how to tap into you and to really not make excuses for the things that you want and the pleasure that you want to receive. And solo dates is a perfect catalyst for enjoying some of those things. So I will tell you my first really intentional experience when it comes to solo dates. And that happened way back in my 20s, in my mid 20s. In my mid 20s, I started my career with Target. I was working a crap ton of hours. I was working my butt off, okay? And one of the things that made it a little bit easier for me was during the week, I had this rotating schedule. So I'll be off one day during the week and then one day on the weekend, and this kind of would rotate. And every Thursday I would be off. And so every Wednesday, that would almost kind of be like my prep to my self-care Thursday. And I treated that baby like it was precious, right? It really was. I remember I would get off of work. Wednesdays would be my clean day. Wednesday, I'm gonna make sure my house is together, my laundry is done. To me, almost like my Wednesday became like my Sunday. It was an opportunity just to refresh, say, hey, I'm gonna have a good day tomorrow. I'm not going to just spend it sleeping, even though I was working my butt off. I didn't want to miss out on some of the things that I had already been missing out on, right? I have once again, I'm a recovering strong Black woman, but definitely in that phase of my life, I was so accustomed to working to many jobs. I was just always hustling. And literally I had 3 jobs in college with no car, and I was walking running like a track star every single day. And that had been so ingrained in my narrative that I missed out on a lot of experiences. And somewhere in this 20-ish journey, I was like, bull, I want to have some fun. And it didn't have to look like that experience that maybe some of my other friends were doing or what that looked like for them. It was really just intentional for me. And what I like to do, once again, Wednesdays was my cleanup day. And then Thursdays, period. At that point, I was straightening my hair a lot. I would, rotate. I would go get my hair flat ironed. And then right after get my hair done, if that was my thing that I chose to do, I would go to the movies. Now, for me, movies have always been a big thing, even kind of growing up. My dad used to set up this this movie screen, this projector in the living room, and we used to watch movies. I remember my dad snuck me and my brother out of school to see Matrix Reloaded, and it had just always been a beautiful experience for me that felt like a release. I was excited to go to the movies. I was excited to see what's coming out. I love the previews. I wanted my popcorn and my Twizzlers. That was my thing. And I did that, and that was something for me that was, to some people, I was like, okay, that's just an activity. But for me, it really did bring me joy and made me excited. So I did that. And then after that, typically I would just take a bath and relax. So I spent that solo being very intentional with my time most often, or also with thrift. I used to love thrifting. I don't thrift quite as much now, but I used to love going to thrift shops, finding records and vinyls. That was my thing. I just loved it. And so that was my narrative then. And since then, I traditionally maintain something similar. But I will definitely say I definitely for sure get away from the practice and the intention of having those solo dates, those self-care dates. And, over the last year and a half, or year plus now, I became single, and I had to really come back and redefine myself or rediscover myself, especially on the other side of my spiritual awakening, because the person that I had been operating as, I was no longer her. So I really had to kind of explore and figure out what this version of me, the true version of me, needed. How does she want to show up, and how does she want to experience life? And one of the ways to do that is through solo dates. So even when COVID was, we were locked down, right? True lockdown. there were still things that I did that were very intentional. Like for example, on the end of the work week, I would like clean my apartment really, really well, like get it sparkling. Make I'm a big person on sheets. I blame my grandma. She always made sure her linens were top tier, all her pillows, and I'm exactly the same way. And so I would do that, and then I will snuggle up with some good wine, actually champagne. I love champagne. Have some good food, and then watch a movie. Right, once again, like movies were my escape, so I couldn't go to the movies, then I would watch it on Netflix. And those things were just a way for me to kind of get back in that feeling. And now I have really kind of just going like 2.0 version of that. And I will say, listen, I realized this past week that I was like, I really had mastered solo dates. And I knew it because I was running out, trying to find some magazines, getting ready for my vision board for 2022. New vlog coming up on that soon. And I was coming back and I said, I really want some champagne. I don't want a whole bottle. I want some champagne. I want a nice view. There's a really nice hotel on the way to my apartment. I said, I want to stop there and I'm going to have some champagne. I got out. I went up with pure confidence, with that ease, and I enjoyed my champagne. And I was like, I want some fries. And so I got me some fries too. And I really enjoyed it. And, when you begin to be at home in your own company, then you truly begin to radiate love on a different frequency. That really has been my experience. We have been taught that we have to seek out love from somebody else, but part of my spiritual awakening, my spiritual journey, is really coming home to myself and not being lonely in my own company, right? Like I've really come to like love me, like unconditional love me. And out of that love for me, I do the things that make me excited and make me feel pleasure. Once again, like champagne gives me pleasure, right? So I'm gonna drink a glass and I'm gonna enjoy it, and it is what it is. And that's kind of what my solo dates look like. And I know some of you all might be feeling intimidated about your solo date journey. Here's the thing I'll tell you. You will definitely for sure go through an awkward phase when it comes to your solo dates. For sure. I can't tell you how many times my friends have had to say, girl, just go. Right? For me, I can do solo dates to movies. Like I became so conditioned to go to the movies alone that was nothing. But going to a bar was not as easy for me, right? I am actually an introvert. I like my own space. I like being in, I'm just an introvert, right? I don't necessarily like love that vibe. And so for me, like going out to like a bar or to a restaurant was way more intimidating doing something where I didn't have to talk to anybody, right? I didn't have to talk to anybody in the movies, but there were chances I'm gonna have to interact and engage in a different way if I go to some other events as a solo person. So I really had to like explore. And I'm gonna tell you too, like I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. There are also some nights where I went out and I came back and I was like, oh, this shit. Like I just had to exhale. I'm like, whether it was, maybe a feeling of loneliness might have popped in. There might have been a feeling of, this is just annoying. Like, I'm not even trying to engage with some of these people in this way. I just want to drink my drink and go home. There's all these different feelings. There's also feelings like, oh, I had a great time by myself. Like, oh, I had this. I love this dessert. There's a lot of different feelings that will come up. And what I'll tell you is just embrace it. Right? You're a person. You're a spirit. Like you're gonna have these different moments, and they're not meant to break you. So take a beat, breathe through them, and continue. And I'm so glad I continued because those fears a lot of times are my ego trying to hold me back from really this next evolution of me. And I'm so glad I did not listen to that and said, hey, but the other side too. There can be something real different on the other side. And because I did that, I started to have, these solo date experiences start to really morph into something even greater, more beautiful. So that's kind of like that experience. If you're looking to begin like your solo date journey, what does that look like? How you can get started? Here's a couple of things that I'll tell you to maybe explore, consider. For me, I really like the movies. Like I said, that's a good outing. It's a good place to start, right? You don't have to engage with a lot of people. If you're just want to get used to showing up for yourself, I think it's a good way to start. Going to the bars, restaurants, typically if I go to a bar or restaurant, one thing I'll tell you is as I start to do more like solo dates to like dinner, I will not shy away from sitting where I want to sit just because I'm here alone. No, you're not gonna put me in the single chair over here by the kitchen with nothing going on. No, 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 no. I want to have a nice view too. So no, sir, I will sit here. So don't take a secondhand experience just because you're there alone. If you want it, get it. Okay. And then also the other thing when I think when it comes to restaurants is I think in the beginning I used to feel like I had to order in a certain proportion because it was just me there alone. And then I was like, screw that. If I want this, if I want that, if I want 3 appetizers and 1 dessert, then whatever I can't eat, I'm gonna box it up. I'm gonna take it home. But I'm gonna treat me, and then I'm gonna enjoy it. And that's what I did. So I think dinner bars are a great start. And even before dinner and bars, another good in between option would be lunch. So there's like a vegan restaurant for me that's very close. One thing that kind of helped me out with working my nerves up to dinner and to bars were walking to this local vegan restaurant because it gave me an opportunity to get out of my head, get out of my ego, to sit down and enjoy and then breathe as I came back, right? It wasn't like I just got there and I had to jump into it and all of a sudden it had to be a social butterfly. It gave me a moment to just kind of pause, get out of my own head, and to enjoy my lunch. And I think that's another good option as well to explore. So we've got the movies, we got lunch, we've got dinner, we got bars. Here's some other great solo ideas. Don't be afraid to take a nice leisure stroll in a park. That's one of the things I do all the time as a wonderful solo date. Get you a blanket, get you a good book, find something. You can just walk, right? And have some music, even bring some champagne. You can have a picnic by yourself. You deserve some champagne. You deserve some dessert. Get some, go out to the park, enjoy yourself. Oh, that sounds real country. Go to the park and really enjoy yourself, and don't feel like it has to be a certain type of situation for you to do that. So that's something else that I recommend. And also going to the park and just being in nature also helps to ground your energy and will help you to get out of your head too. So it's just good to spend time in nature, and it has a lot of additional therapeutic benefits. So something I would highly encourage you to explore as well. And then I always talk about meetups. So meetup is another great idea, perfect for solo dates, because there's often people that might be in similar situations or have similar interests that might too be arriving to this event solo. And it's a little less intimidating because not everyone's going to be booed up, right? A lot of times it's individual people arriving to whatever event. So go and explore, give it a shot. And then the last thing I will recommend, festivals. I love a good festival. There are always festivals down here where I live. There's always something going in the park. There's wine, there's something seasonal, there's like a race, there's always something going on. Find your local community page in your city, your chamber, and that's a great place to start for these events. The other thing is normally they're free 99. So you go, you don't love it, go home. But it's also an opportunity to mix and mingle, maybe find other people that share interests. And I think it's also a little less intimidating because you can kind of like walk through and mix and mingle. So those are some of my tips and a little bit about my story about solo dates. I really, really, really encourage you to start having a solo date at least once a week, right? It doesn't have to be something, grand. It can be something really simple. It can be that bath, right? That personal, intentional, alone time to nurture yourself the way you want to be nurtured. The difference between self-care and solo dates is self-care is intentional nurturing to your body. And yes, you get a lot in mind, body, and spirit. Yes, you get a lot of those benefits from your solo dates too. But also I feel like it's an opportunity for you to say, at any stage, wherever I'm in life, I deserve it all, and I'm not going to wait for someone else to give it to me. And I think that's the beautiful thing about solo dates. You can do that through travel, through leisure, through rest, through relaxation. But it's saying, hey, I still want to experience these things, and I'm going to go out there and create the environment and the joy to be in them and to experience them. And I think it's really important. And I think it also really helps and can be a supercharger for your manifestation, because everything manifests from joy. You go out there, you're feeling good, you're in that vibration, and you're able to go out and say, oh my goodness, I love this, and I can't wait to experience this with my girlfriends, my boyfriends, whatever it is. Then you can kind of hold on to that energy, right? So you're going out there for you. So the attention is always there for you, but you can hold on to that energy and still manifest from it and visualize whatever that vision for you looks like. So I want to highly encourage you guys, pause, enjoy some of these solo dates, and really take time out to manifest from this experience. And don't wait. Baby girl, do not wait. You're worth it now, here and now. So go out there and enjoy it. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And once again, my name is Iman, and this is Recovering Strong Black Woman. Bye, ladies.